Stop giving people the luxury of your constant presence. You think being available every single time will make them value you more. It doesn't. It makes them comfortable, too comfortable. When you answer immediately, when you show up without hesitation, when you're always ready, do you know what happens? They stop chasing, they stop wondering, they stop craving, you become predictable. And predictable isn't exciting. Value is built in scarcity. Diamonds are rare. Gold is rare. That's why people desire them. Your time, your energy, your attention, these are treasures. Yet you're handing them out like they're nothing. And then you wonder why people don't appreciate you. You need to understand this. Silence is powerful. Distance is powerful. Let people miss you. Let them wonder what you're doing, where you are, who you're with. Let their mind create the mystery. That's when they crave you. Stop being too available. Stop proving your worth over and over again. You are the worth. You are the prize. And once you carry yourself like that, watch how the world shifts. You keep thinking that the more available you are, the more people will like you. You believe that answering every message the second it arrives, showing up every single time they call, and bending over backwards for them is going to make them appreciate you. But let me tell you something. It doesn't. In fact, it does the opposite. The moment you make yourself too available, you remove the mystery, you remove the chase, you remove the value. People love convenience, but they do not respect it. And when you're always there, when you're always saying yes, when you're always the one making time, guess what? You've become convenient. You've become predictable. You've become background noise. Do you know why people crave what they cannot have? Because scarcity creates desire. If something is always in front of them, always reachable, always guaranteed, then there's no thrill, no excitement, no reason to fight for it. Look at how human behavior works. Think about luxury brands. Why do people spend thousands on a bag or a pair of shoes? It's not just about the quality. There are plenty of high quality things out there. It's about rarity. It's about the fact that not everyone can get their hands on it. It's about the feeling of earning it, chasing it, waiting for it. That's what creates value. But when it comes to yourself, you hand out your time like it's nothing. You treat your energy like it's free. And then you're shocked when people don't value it. Stop answering the phone every single time. Stop being the one who cancels their plans just because someone suddenly wants to see you. Stop rearranging your life to fit into theirs. Because when you do that, you're teaching them a dangerous lesson. You're teaching them that you don't have boundaries, that your time doesn't belong to you, that your world revolves around them. And once they believe that, they will never respect you the way you deserve to be respected. You have to retrain yourself to understand this. Being less available does not make you less caring, less loving, or less valuable. It makes you more powerful. It shows that you have priorities, that you respect your own schedule, that you're not waiting around for someone else to validate you. It shows that you are whole with or without them. And that is attractive. That is magnetic. That makes people look at you and think, wow, they must be worth something if they can't just drop everything for me. There's something deeply psychological about distance. When you step back, people step forward. When you stop pouring all your attention into someone, they start to notice the emptiness. They start to realize what they've been taking for granted. Suddenly, your absence becomes louder than your presence ever did. That's when they crave you. That's when they reach out. That's when they start to wonder, where are they? Why aren't they answering? Why aren't they here? And in that moment, you've shifted the balance of power. Being too available is not kindness. It is self-neglect disguised as generosity, because real kindness has boundaries. Real love respects itself first. If you think saying yes to everyone is noble, ask yourself this: when was the last time saying yes to everyone left you feeling good? Usually it leaves you drained. Usually it leaves you unappreciated, and still you keep doing it. Why? Because you think giving more equals receiving more. But life doesn't work that way. People don't value what they don't earn. And let me tell you this, if someone truly values you, you don't have to give them unlimited access for them to stay. They will respect your time. They will honor your boundaries. They will understand that you are not always available because you have a life, and that will make them admire you more. The right people will never walk away because you chose yourself. Only the wrong ones will. And that's not a loss. That's a filter. Stop giving discounts on a soul that's priceless. Stop showing up like they're ordinary when you are extraordinary. Stop teaching people that they can always find you waiting. You are not a waiting room. You are not a backup plan. You are not someone's comfort zone that they run to when they're bored. You are the main character. You are the prize. You are the thing people should be working for, not the other way around. So the next time you feel the urge to reply, instantly pause. The next time you think about canceling your own plans just to fit into their stop. The next time you want to say yes when you mean no, remember this. Every time you erase your own boundaries, you're lowering your own value in their eyes. And once you've taught someone that you're always available, it's very hard to unteach it. Create space, create distance, create respect. Let them crave you. Let them earn you. Let them see that your presence is not something they can demand. It's something they should appreciate when they receive it. That's how you reclaim your power. That's how you shift the narrative. That's how you stop being overlooked and start being desired. Because when you stop being too available, you don't lose people. You lose the wrong people. And the right ones, they will cherish you even more. People don't crave what they can get anytime. They crave what is rare. They crave what is hard to find, hard to reach, and impossible to replace. That's why scarcity is so powerful. It creates desire. The truth is, you're not being overlooked because you're not enough. You're being overlooked because you're giving too much, too fast, too easily. And the human mind is wired to dismiss what comes without effort. Think about it. Why do people line up for hours to buy limited edition sneakers? Why do they pay more for something just because it's labeled exclusive? It's not about the product. It's about the feeling. The feeling that not everyone has it. The feeling that it's rare, that it's special, that it's reserved only for a few. That's what creates value. That's what creates obsession. And yet, when it comes to yourself, you do the exact opposite. You act like you're unlimited, like your time, your energy, your presence, your love. It's all infinite, available on demand, free of cost, no boundaries, no limits. Tell me, why would anyone treat you as rare when you're acting like you're common? Scarcity is not about playing games. It's about protecting your worth. It's about understanding that the more people have constant access to you, the less they appreciate you. Have you ever noticed how people suddenly remember your value when you pull away? Suddenly the same people who ignored your messages are blowing up your phone. The same people who didn't prioritize you are begging for your attention. Why? Because when something becomes scarce, the brain automatically categorizes it as valuable. That's human psychology. You need to let people crave you. You need to step back enough that your absence is felt. Don't be afraid of it. Don't fear that pulling away means losing them. If distance makes them walk away, they were never there for you to begin with. If space makes them forget you, then they never valued you. But if they stay, if they fight for you, if they keep showing up even when you're not constantly available, that's when you know they see your true worth. You are not meant to be consumed like fast food. You are not meant to be everywhere, all the time, for everyone. You are meant to be like fine dining, rare, exclusive, reserved, something people prepare for, something people value, something people feel lucky to experience. That's how you should carry yourself, with standards, with limits, with intention. Scarcity also works within yourself. Look at how you treat your own energy. You wake up and you give it away to everyone. Text, calls, favors, obligations until you have nothing left for yourself. And then you wonder why you feel drained, why you feel unappreciated. It's because you're spending your energy recklessly, like it's unlimited. But your energy is the most valuable currency you have. Spend it wisely. Give it to people who earn it. Give it to situations that deserve it. Don't give it away like loose change. People respect what is protected. They respect what is guarded. They respect what is not for everyone. That's why when you start saying no, when you start choosing yourself, when you start creating space, you'll see a shift. People will either step up or step out, and both outcomes are good because the ones who step up are the ones who actually value you, and the ones who step out, they were only there because you were easy to access. That's not love. That's convenience. Scarcity makes you magnetic. It makes people curious. It makes them wonder, what are they doing? Who are they with? Why aren't they answering me right away? And that curiosity turns into craving. That craving turns into pursuit. And that pursuit reminds them, you are not ordinary. You are not replaceable. You are not something they can take lightly. Look at the things you admire most in life. None of them are unlimited. None of them are handed out freely. The best experiences, the most valuable possessions, the most unforgettable people, they all share one trait. They are rare. That's why they stay on your mind. That's why you can't forget them. That's why you feel the need to have them. Now tell me, why are you treating yourself like the opposite of that? You don't need to constantly prove your worth. You don't need to constantly show up to remind people you exist. Your presence should speak louder in its absence than in its constant availability. When you are scarce, when you are intentional, when you are selective, people notice, people pay attention, people crave you. And that craving is what makes them respect you, value you, and never want to lose you. So stop being everywhere. Stop being everything for everyone. Stop letting people believe they can reach you anytime, any day with no cost, no effort, no commitment. Be the limited edition. Be the rare jewel. Be the one that stands out precisely because not everyone has access. That's how you shift from being taken for granted to being desired. That's how you turn ordinary interactions into unforgettable ones. That's how you become unforgettable. Because at the end of the day, scarcity is not about lack. It's about power. It's about reminding people that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. And when you start moving like that, when you stop handing yourself out freely, you'll see it. They'll crave you. They'll fight for you. They'll value you in ways they never did before. Silence is not weakness. Distance is not rejection. Silence and distance are power. Power that most people are too afraid to use. You've been conditioned to believe that the louder you are, the more you explain, the more you chase, the more you prove, the more someone will value you. But that's a lie. The truth is, the more noise you make, the more people tune you out. The more you explain yourself, the less they listen. The more you show up without pause, the less they see you. Silence, on the other hand, makes people listen. Distance makes people notice. Think about the last time someone pulled away from you. Think about how suddenly you couldn't stop wondering where they went, why they weren't responding, what they were thinking. That emptiness echoed louder than any words could. That's the power of silence. That's the power of distance. It plants questions in the mind. It creates space for imagination. It makes people crave your presence because the absence feels unbearable. But what do you do instead? You panic. The moment you sense distance, you chase harder. You text more. You call more. You explain more. You beg to be seen, heard, noticed. And every time you do that, you lower your own value. You're showing them that you need them more than they need you. You're teaching them that they can step back and you'll always step forward, desperate to close the gap. That is not power. That is self-betrayal. You have to learn to sit in silence without fear. You have to learn to hold your distance with confidence. You have to understand that if someone truly values you, they will close the gap themselves. They will meet you halfway. They will notice the silence and come looking for you. And if they don't, that's your answer. They were never really invested. They were never really yours. And isn't it better to know the truth than to exhaust yourself over someone who doesn't care? Silence is uncomfortable. That's why it works. When you don't immediately respond, when you don't over-explain, when you don't fill the air with noise, people start to feel the weight of their own behavior. They start to hear their own words echo back to them. They start to sit with the consequences of how they treated you. And in that silence, in that space, they are forced to reflect. Reflection creates awareness. Awareness creates change. Distance is equally powerful. Sometimes your absence speaks more than your presence ever could. When you step back, when you stop showing up the way you used to, people notice. They may not admit it, but they feel it. The calls feel quieter. The room feels emptier. The attention they took for granted suddenly disappears. And that disappearance creates craving. They begin to miss the very things they ignored. They begin to realize that you were never ordinary. You were the one adding value, the one bringing energy, the one making things better. They just didn't see it until you stepped away. But you're so afraid of distance, you sabotage yourself. You think if you don't respond immediately, you'll lose them. You think if you don't constantly reassure them, they'll forget you. You think if you don't prove yourself, they won't choose you. Do you see how backwards that is? Do you see how you're building your worth on their validation? Silence and distance aren't about manipulation. They're about alignment. They reveal who truly values you and who only values your availability. And let me tell you, anyone who runs away because you stopped overgiving was never meant for you. Anyone who disappears because you chose yourself was never for you. But the ones who stay, the ones who notice the silence, who close the distance, who make the effort without being pushed, that's where your energy belongs. That's where your presence should go. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to beg to be valued. You don't need to over-explain to be understood. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step back, go quiet, and watch. Watch who comes closer. Watch who respects the space. Watch who proves through their actions that your presence actually matters. Stop being afraid of silence. Stop being afraid of distance. The right people will never be scared away by your boundaries. They will never interpret your silence as rejection. They will interpret it as strength. They will never see your distance as abandonment. They will see it as self-respect. And that is what draws them in. That is what makes them crave you. Remember this, noise is cheap. Anyone can talk. Anyone can beg. Anyone can flood the air with meaningless words. But silence, that's rare. Silence carries weight. Silence creates curiosity. Silence forces people to pay attention. And distance is the proof that you are not desperate, that you are not clinging, that you are not afraid to lose what is not meant for you. That's where real confidence lives. So the next time you feel the urge to over-explain, pause. The next time you want to send that double text, stop. The next time you think about breaking your own boundaries just to feel seen or breathe. And remember, silence and distance are not empty. They are full of strength, full of answers, full of truth. When you master silence, people lean in. When you master distance, people move closer. And when you stop fearing both, you step fully into your power. Because silence isn't the absence of words. Distance isn't the absence of love. They are the presence of self-respect. And once you carry yourself with that level of power, you'll never have to chase again. They'll chase you. They'll crave you. They'll never want to lose you. You keep forgetting who you are. You keep treating yourself like you are ordinary, like you're replaceable, like you're just another option. That's why people treat you that way, because you're teaching them how. If you don't see yourself as priceless, no one else will. If you don't carry yourself like you're the prize, people will treat you like a convenience. And that's the problem. You don't act like you're the treasure. You act like you're the one begging to be found. You have to understand something. You are not supposed to be chasing. You are not supposed to be proving. You are not supposed to be convincing anyone of your value. You are the value. You are the rare one. You are the one who brings the energy, the love, the stability, the beauty. But you hand yourself out like you're cheap. You give your time away without hesitation. You bend, you shrink, you overgive, and then you sit there wondering why no one treats you as if you're priceless. It's because you keep putting a discount tag on yourself. Look around you. Everywhere in life, the most valuable things never scream their worth. Gold doesn't beg to be recognized. Diamonds don't chase after buyers. Rare art doesn't convince anyone to hang it on their wall. Its value is already understood. It sits there unapologetic, untouchable, and people do whatever they have to do to earn it. That is how you must carry yourself. You are the diamond. You are the masterpiece. You are the rare jewel. Stop acting like you're a clearance item. When you don't see yourself as priceless, you attract people who don't see you as priceless either. You allow half efforts, you accept crumbs, you settle for being chosen only when it's convenient for them. And deep down, you know you deserve more, but you're too afraid of losing people. So you lower your standards. You'd rather be chosen halfway than not at all. Do you see how self-destructive that is? Do you see how insulting that is to your own worth? You are supposed to be the prize. And the prize is not desperate. The prize doesn't chase. The prize doesn't lower itself just to be picked. The prize is earned. The prize is respected. The prize is valued by the ones who are worthy of it. That is how you should live your life. Like you are not just an option, but the reward. And the moment you shift into that mindset, everything changes. The wrong people fall away because they can't afford your standards. And the right ones rise to meet you because they see your worth and are willing to do the work to keep you. Start carrying yourself with the energy of someone who knows they are priceless. That means stop tolerating disrespect. Stop excusing bad behavior. Stop allowing people to give you less than what you give them. Because when you keep accepting less, you're telling yourself and them that you're not worth more. And that is a lie. You are worth everything. But until you believe it, no one else will. Being priceless also means you don't have to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need to convince people to see your value. If they can't see it, they are blind, and blindness is not your responsibility. You are not here to shine brighter just so someone with poor vision can recognize you. You are here to glow effortlessly, unapologetically, and the ones who can see will. The ones who can't don't matter.
There is a reason why the most powerful people in the world walk with quiet confidence. They don't need to shout. They don't need to demand attention. Their presence speaks for itself. And that's exactly what happens when you recognize your own worth. You stop needing to prove. You stop needing to beg. You stop needing to chase. Because you already know whether they see it or not, you are priceless.
And let me remind you of this. Anyone who makes you feel replaceable, anyone who makes you feel like an option, anyone who treats you like you don't matter, they are not your people. They don't deserve your energy, your love, or your time. Stop wasting yourself on people who cannot afford your worth. Start protecting your energy the way you would protect gold, because that's what you are: rare, irreplaceable, priceless. So stop asking, am I enough? You are more than enough. Stop wondering if you're too much. You are never too much for the right person. You are exactly the amount you're meant to be. And the ones who cannot handle you, cannot value you, cannot love you at your full power, they were never meant to have you. Don't shrink yourself for people who are too small to hold you. Carry yourself like the prize. Walk into every room knowing that you are the energy that shifts it. Know that your love is not free. It is earned. Know that your time is not cheap. It is precious. Know that your presence is not common. It is a privilege. And the ones who understand that, the ones who see it, the ones who fight to keep it, they are the only ones who deserve to stand beside you. Because you are not replaceable. You are not ordinary. You are not something people can find anywhere. You are the rarest thing they will ever come across. And the moment you start living like that, the moment you stop doubting yourself, the moment you stop begging to be seen, you will realize you never had to prove your worth. You only had to recognize it. You are priceless. Start acting like it. Confidence is magnetic. Confidence is the difference between being overlooked and being unforgettable. You've been told your whole life that you need to be prettier, smarter, thinner, richer, more this, more that in order to be desirable. But let me tell you the truth. It's not about any of that. It's about energy. It's about the way you carry yourself. It's about the way you walk into a room like you belong there without needing anyone to confirm it. That is what creates attraction. That is what makes people crave you. You could have the most flawless face, the most expensive clothes, the most polished lifestyle. But if you don't have confidence, none of it matters. People feel it. They feel when you don't believe in yourself. They feel when you're desperate for validation. They feel when you're performing instead of owning. And the sad part, you keep trying to decorate your insecurity with external things, but the insecurity always shows. You can't hide it. You can't cover it. You can only fix it by building real self-confidence. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is quiet but undeniable. It's the way you don't flinch when someone questions you. It's the way you don't beg for approval. It's the way you choose yourself, even if it means disappointing others. That's the kind of energy people are drawn to, the kind of energy people respect. Because true confidence cannot be faked. It's built day by day, decision by decision. You have to stop looking at yourself as less. You have to stop comparing yourself to everyone else. There will always be someone prettier, taller, richer, more experienced, but there will never be another you. And the moment you own that, the moment you realize that your uniqueness is your power, that's when you become magnetic. That's when people notice you without you even trying. Confidence is refusing to beg for attention. It's knowing that your presence is already enough. Think about the people you admire most. It's not always because they're the most beautiful or the most talented. It's because they carry themselves with certainty. They walk with their head high. They speak like their voice matters. They don't chase. They don't plead. They don't wait for permission to take up space. And that energy, that is what people are addicted to. Do you know why people respect those who respect themselves? Because confidence sets the standard. When you walk into a room insecure, people sense it and they treat you accordingly. When you walk into a room with confidence, people sense that too and they rise to your level. You train people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. That's why self-confidence is the foundation of attraction. Without it, nothing lasts. Stop hiding. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop shrinking yourself because you are afraid of intimidating others. If your confidence makes someone uncomfortable, that's not your problem. That's their insecurity. Never dim your light to make others feel better in their shadows. Shine anyway. Own your space. Own your presence. Own your power. That's what makes people crave you because they realize you don't need them. You choose them. And choice is always more powerful than need. Here's the truth. Desperation repels. Confidence attracts. When you need someone to validate you, you hand them power over your worth. When you stand in your own power, you attract people who recognize it. That's the difference. One makes you a beggar, the other makes you the prize. Which one do you want to be? Confidence also means boundaries. You can't be magnetic if you let everyone walk over you. You can't expect respect if you don't demand it. Confidence is saying no without guilt. Confidence is walking away from anything that doesn't align with your standards. Confidence is refusing to settle because you know exactly what you bring to the table. And the moment you start living with that kind of energy, you stop chasing people and they start chasing you. People crave what feels certain. And confidence is certainty. It says, I know who I am. I know what I deserve. I know what I bring. When you live like that, you become unforgettable. Because confidence is rare. Most people are drowning in insecurity, trying to prove themselves, trying to beg for love. But when you stand still in your own power, you stand out. You want to be magnetic? Stop waiting to be chosen. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you are enough. Start moving like you already are. Start believing in yourself so deeply that it doesn't matter who doubts you. Start treating yourself like the prize and watch how the world mirrors it back to you. Confidence is the most attractive thing you can own because it cannot be taken from you. Looks fade. Money comes and goes. Status shifts. But self-confidence, that stays, that's eternal. That's what makes you walk into any room and command attention without even opening your mouth. That's what makes people crave you long after you've left. That's what makes you unforgettable. So stop asking if you're enough. Stop begging for validation. Stop waiting for someone else to see yourself. Value yourself. Believe in yourself. That is the secret. That is the power. That is the magnetism. Confidence is not optional. It's everything. And once you own it, once you wear it like armor, once you breathe it in with every step you take, you'll never have to chase again. They'll come to you. They'll crave you. Because confidence is the rarest, most irresistible energy in the world.